ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां व्यासशंकरमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So the last class we were looking at the definition of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And I told you it is a 12-letter mantra. So, Dvadakshari mantra. So, Dvad Akshari mantra. These 12 letters are there in the mantra. Just as Om Namah Shivaya has got a Panchakshara mantra. Same way, this has got 12 letters. And each letter signifies some meaning. So the word Om symbolizes Akara, Ukara, Makara. So A, U, Ma. So you can put it other way around, Uma. So if you interchange the letters A, U, Ma, it becomes Uma. And Uma represents the power. And Om represents the consciousness. So power and consciousness, they are non-separate. So power is residing within consciousness. That is why we always worship Uma Maheshwara. We do not worship only Maheshwara because we worship the Ishvara along with the Shakti. So likewise, we also worship Krishna also with Rukmini Satyabhama. So we always have two consorts, like Murugan and Valli and Devasena, because they're supposed to be the power behind this. So the power has to be there for the consciousness or the Atma to manifest. So without the power being there, it is not possible for it to manifest. So the power is something which is hidden, which you do not know. You can't see the power. Just as, when you, a simple example I can give you is in your home we have the light. So we have the light in our house, you're able to see all the objects in the particular place. The light is illumined by the bulb which is there. So the bulb is the one which is representing the physical body. So the physical body is the one through which we are able to do all the actions. So without the bulb being there, the filament which is sitting inside the bulb is the one which lights. So the filament is gone, then the bulb is of no use. So you can take the bulb off, you can shake it and see the filament is it's not there, or the filament is broken. So when the filament is broken, what does it do? The bulb stops. Same way, in our own thing also, when the filament inside our body stops, the body also goes. But the power which is the electricity which is running in the filament is still running, it's still continuous. Correct? So just because the bulb is not working or the filament is broken, electricity does not stop. Electricity continues to exist. But you do not see the electricity because it is something you assume that it is there. So have you ever wondered why there is no electricity? No, we always assume there is power because it is taken for granted it is there. In the same way, you have to take it for granted that Atma is there, consciousness is there. So the same way, the Om symbolizes this consciousness or the Atma, which is hidden, which cannot be seen, but it is there. And because it is there, that is why the mind is getting illumined. So the Atma is equal to electricity. Mind is equal to the filament. And the filament, the body is equal to the body mind. Body is mind complete. So the filament has to be there for the bulb to glow. But the bulb need not be there. You can have an empty house without any bulb there also. And you do not have light also. So electricity did not manifest itself just because it's not his job. Because his job is to be passing through, just continuously is there. Correct? The same way, Atma, the consciousness, does not need to manifest itself. It is just there. And because of its association with the mind gets illumined, radiation takes place, and then because of that, the body gets illumined and all the functions which we are doing is taking place. But somehow this mind which is there is taken Satya. And we totally forget about electricity also. We totally forget about, we take it is there. So we never bother. It's only when there's a major power outage, etc., something like this, and all the Srishti, everything is gone, that's when you go out and check what is happening. So in the same way, the Om represents here the Samashti, the collection of all of the objects put together is Om, the whole Jagat. Then, the word Namaha. So, Om Nama. So, Namaha means unto te, Namaha. So, unto the Bhagavan, which is of the nature of Om here, which is of manifesting the entire universe, unto that. The next letter is called Bha. So, Bha represents the nourisher of the universe, the sun, Pusha. So, Bha represents the nourisher of the universe. Then, Gha represents the creator of the universe. So, nourisher of the universe, Srishtikarta and Palankarta. Srishtikarta is also the creator. So, Gha represents the creator. Then the word Va represents the essence in all the living beings. Essence in all the living and non-living beings. So the Va represents Vasati, or the one who resides. So the word Vasu means what? The one who resides. It's called Vasu. So the word stands for essence in all the living beings. Then, Te means this. So the word Te represents this Bhagavan, which is of the nature of the creator and the protector, the nourisher of the universe. Then the word Su represents producer. The one creator is one thing, and also the producing of all the other things is required. So producer of also is important. The producer, Su. Then the word De represents the protector of the universe. So the nourisher, creator, protector of the universe. Then Vayaha. So Vaya means, it means this Bhagavan is of the nature of these attributes. So the simple word Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya has got so much of deep meaning in this. Simple meaning. So we just say Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So all of these individual words has got meanings. Just as the Namah Shivaya, the word 5, the Panchakshara mantra has got the meaning of Na Ma Shivaya. So 5-letter word. You will see in the Tamil class on Monday when I do that. Shivayana Bodham, that is discussed elaborately there. So we'll talk about it in class there. But So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And this 12 letters describe the 12 chapters in Bhagavatam. There are 12 cantos in Bhagavatam. So all the 12 are discussed in the Bhagavatam. So they're all connected. So who has written this Bhashyam, and this particular sentence is written by Totakacharya. See, Totakacharya is one of the Shrestha devotee of the Shishya of Adi Shankara. So Totakashtakam, I think I taught to some of you may know Totakashtakam. So Totakashtakam is also a beautiful text which is sung by this in Totaka meter. And this particular verse, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, is written by Totakacharya. And he has given Vyakyanam in his book called Shruti Sara Samudharana. So he has written a book, he has written an elaborate treatise. In that book, he has given elaborate Vyakyanam about this. See, for studying one particular thing, you would read so many things. But here I'm just giving you the synopsis of what is in that book. So it gives this particular word, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, it gives the Vishwarupa Darshanam or the Vishwarupa nature of the Bhagavan. Because we see the creator, we see the sustainer, we see the protector, and we see the one who is living in the heart of everyone. So such a person has to be of the nature of Vishwarupam. He cannot be an ordinary person. So that word Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya indicates the Vishwarupa Darshanam or Vishwarupa Dhyanam of the Bhagavan. So that is how one should contemplate on this one. Then we go into the next one. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamala Nayanam Yogi Hridhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatam. So, this is a famous, everybody knows this mantra. I mean, I don't have to chant this. This is a famous, Shantakaram is known by everybody. So, first is Shanta Akaram, first letter. First word is called Shanta Akaram. What is Shantam? The one who is very, very pleasing nature. It's called Shantam. So, Shanti represents peace. And Shantam represents here also tranquility, happiness, or peaceful. And what is this? Akaram. Akaram means the form. So Vishnu is the Akaram or the form of tranquility and happiness and peace. Is there anyone who can say, who was watching Vishnu, can say that he looks very Raudram, very angry, always very happy, always very beautiful to look at? Correct. So for the people who look at Bhagavan Vishnu or even Balaji also, you want to keep looking at him. Why do you go to Tirupati and they say Jaragandi, they just keep pushing you? Because you want to stay there for long, to at least to stay there. But you are not allowed to stay there. Because such is the attraction of this Bhagavan, that you want to see the beauty, the magnanimity of it. And he is very peaceful. So when you fortunately, in Sydney, we have this temple here in Helensburgh, where there's nobody goes. I mean, there are people who go there, but there you can worship Balaji very closely. You can stand there for as long as you want. Same Balaji which is there in Tirupati is also established here also. Same form. But there you cannot see because it's very popular. People want to go and worship there because it's Punyasthala. But here you can worship at your own peace. You can stay there for as long as you want. Nobody will bother you. And it is same decoration, same everything is same. So, and Shantakharam. So that's what the first meaning. Then Bhujaga Shayanam. So Bhujanga means the Bhujaga means snake, serpent. So Bhujaga Shayanam means the one who is residing on the snake. So sleeping on a snake. You'll see the Mahavishnu sleeping on a snake like this. Nagashaya. He is actually in Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra means he's not sleeping. He's very much awake. But what we will say is that Vishnu is sleeping on, Mahavishnu is sleeping on the serpent. But he's not sleeping. He's actually in meditation. So Yoga Nidra. So he's still watching everything what's happening around the world. He's still watching everything. All the bhaktas, they think that he's asleep, but no, he's very much awake because he's the what? The protector of the universe. His responsibility is to what? To protect the universe. So he has to be awake. He can't go to sleep. We can go to sleep, but Bhagavan cannot go to sleep. He will be always there waiting for you. Right? So, Bhujaga Shayanam. So second. Then Padmanabham. So Padmanabi, Nabi means the navel and Padma means lotus. So from the Nabi of the Bhagavan, this universe is created. Nabhyat Asit Antariksham. See, Narayana Suktam we have Nabhyat Asit Antariksham. I mean what? From the Nabhyat Asit, established Antariksham. So this whole universe came into existence from the Nabi of the Bhagavan. So Vishnu is still lying in Yoga Nidra. The universe is actually a projection from the Bhagavan. And Brahmaji is distinct from the Bhagavan, correct? So Brahmaji is a creator. So he is actually at a distance. At the same time, because the projection of this Brahma is from the navel of the Bhagavan, he is also not very far. Even though Brahmaji looks very far from here, but he is still actually part of Bhagavan only. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara we say, Trimurti. In fact, in some text you will see later on that Vishnu says, anyone who understands that Vishnu is different from Maheshwara and we are different from Brahma, that person is Mudaha. So in Vishnu Sahasranama, there is no Vaishnavite, there is no Shaivite, there is nothing like this. It is only Bhagavan. That's what's supposed to be. So Bhagavan doesn't have any race. He doesn't have any color. He doesn't have any Gotram or Kulam. It is only when the Bhagavan comes, we interpret the Bhagavan in some form or the other. Correct. So it doesn't matter what Jati you belong, what Kulam you belong, what race you belong, it doesn't matter. Everyone is Bhagavan's child. So for him, it doesn't matter which temple you go, how you worship, it doesn't really matter. Right. That's what it says here. So Bhujaga Shayanam, Padmanabham, then Suresham. So Sura Ishaha. So Suresham means what? The one, Isham means the Bhagavan, and Sura Isham means the Lord of the entire universe. So all these Suras, Devatas are there. All the Devatas is the Ishaha. So he is Isham, Suresham. So all the words are now beginning to make sense. Suresham, Padmanabham, Vishwadhen, Shantakharam, Bhujaga Shayanam. So when you chant the mantra, you should be able to contemplate that this Bhagavan is of the nature of Shantam, who is residing on, yes.
Shantagaram is filled with happiness.
See, Shantam means happiness or tranquility or peace. And Akaram means the one who is holder of the peace or who represents the Murti of the peace. So Shantakaram means that's the meaning of that. Then Vishwa Adharam. So Vishwadharam is Vishwa Adharam. What is Vishwam? Vishwam is universe. And Adharam means the substance of the universe. So Adharam means Adharam and Adeyam. The two things are there. Adharam means the substance, and Adeyam is the substantive. So if you look at the wave and the water, the wave is the Adeyam, and the water is the Adharam. That means substance is the water. The wave cannot exist independently outside of the water. Wave doesn't have anything called a wave. It is only its own ajnanam or ignorance that thinks is a wave. So the wave continues to rise and fall only in water. So the water doesn't do anything. It just sits there and watches its children play. Okay, let them all, they come and rise and play. So after all the playing is over, like the jivas, we are all jivas. We're all playing in our own sphere of experience. So I am this person, I am that person, I'm enjoying this, I'm living here, I'm living there, I'm going to this temple, that temple, this perfume, all these things. So Bhagavan is there, you keep doing what you want to do. He says, I don't really bother about it. Because you go, enjoy, whatever you want to do, enjoy. Finally, you'll discover that all the atam and patam which you do, all the dancing and everything you do finally has got no result, because ultimately you have to come back to me only. So, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. So yam yam yati saran bhavam. That means whatever you remember at the end of your life only will become true. You cannot remember the Bhagavan at lifetime unless you have thought about it throughout your life. Right. So Bhagavad Gita also says same thing. So Vishwadharam, then Gagana Sadrisham. So Gaganam means the sky, and Sadrisham means the one who pervades the entire sky. So Sadrisham means the one who is pervading the entire sky, Gaganam, Gagana Sadrisham. So here he gives all the Upalakshanam of the Bhagavan, the attributes of the Bhagavan. So Gagana Sadrisham. Then Meghavarnam. So Krishna is not what is the color of Meghavarnam, Vishnu. So what is Megha? Is the color of the cloud, right? So he's not very dark, not very bright. Is Meghavarnam. Then Shubhangam. So Shubha Angam, Shubha Angaha. Or the limbs which is God is auspicious limbs. So every part of the Bhagavan is auspicious. Shubhangam. Then Lakshmi Kantam. Lakshmi is what? Consort of Mahavishnu. So the consort of Lakshmi is mentioned here as Lakshmi Kantam. Correct. Lakshmi Kantam. Then Kamala Nayanam. So Kamalam, lotus, and Nayanam means eyes. The lotus-eyed Lord. The one, all these are beautiful things. So the lotus eye means what? It looks very beautiful. Lotus eye. Kamala Nayanam. Then Yogi Hridhyana Gamyam. So what are the yogis? The yogis are the people who contemplate on this Bhagavan. So it is not yogi means somebody who's Yogi Baba. Okay. All the people who are chanting this Sahasranama, who are worshipping this Bhagavan, who are doing some Parayanam, something or the other, they are called yogis. In literal term, it means rishis. But here, we should take it as that we are also eligible to be qualified. We are also qualified for the grace of the Bhagavan. So if you chant the mantra regularly, if you do a Parayanam practice every day, then the Bhagavan also enters into us as Hridhi. So Hridhi Gamyam. So Yogi Hridyana Gamyam means, so Gamanam means entering. And where does he enter? Hridi, in the heart. So he enters the heart of every person, every rishi who is also yogi. So when I say yogi means what is a discipline? So yoga means in Vedanta, it means discipline. It's a lifestyle. So karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, all these are yogas. So yoga means they are discipline. So yogi means a person who follows the yoga is called yogi. A person who does not follow anything is called bhogi. That means you go there to eat prasadam, at the end, some people come there. They'll ask you what time the function finishes. See, it will finish about 1:30. So he'll exactly come at 1:25. Because 1:25, he doesn't want to be part of anything. He will come exactly at 1:25. 5 minutes, he'll just stay there, have prasadam, eat food, go home. I'm sure you have got people like this. I'm pretty sure I have seen them. So, because they are busy people, they do not have time, and neither they're interested. So they're called bhogi. So yogi and bhogi. So you should not be a bhogi, you must be a yogi. After becoming a yogi, you can be a bhogi also, because the Bhagavan does not say that you must not eat. He says, after every hard chanting or whatever you do, you're eligible, enjoy, definitely you got the right to have prasadam. So one must not leave the house without the prasadam. That is also one thing. If you are part of the function, you must stay there and get some prasadam or the other. You should not just say that I don't want anything. Today is this, today Bhagavan's place is nothing like this. You have to take prasadam because it is an offering. The people who do the function is in the right spirit. They offer the prasadam to the Bhagavan. And they say that this is my offering to you, and then you take from the Bhagavan what is offered back. So prasadam buddhi is there. So if you just walk away without having prasadam, then you are negating the prasada buddhi of the karma yoga. That's all it is. So you're not following karma yoga. One of the karma yoga buddhi is dropped. So again, you have to build that habit. So yogi hridyana gamyam. Then Vande Vishnu. So Vandanam means Vandanam. So I offer my salutations, my Vandanam to this Vishnu, who is what? Bhava Bhaya Haram. So Bhava means the fear of rebirth, samsara. So Bhava here means the fear of samsara. And Bhaya means fear. So the fear of samsara is there with everybody. See, samsaram fear also is there. Samsara fear also is there. Right? So when you are in samsara, you will get samsaram fear also. Right? Depends upon how you got the connection. Because if you don't know how to cook, if you don't know how to wash clothes, if you're not independent of anything, then samsara becomes you become dependent. Then you become afraid. What happens? So whatever restrictions are given, you just do, so that you can live. So, but here, bhava bhaya means not this samsara, but it is the samsara. So bhava bhaya haram. Harati means that remover. So Hare Rama. So Hare. So bhava bhaya haram. Then Sarva Loka Ekanatham. So Sarva Lokaika Natham means Sarva Lokehe Ekanatham. So for all the loka, Sarva Loka, who is this Ekanatham? There's only one Lord. There is no other Lord other than this Bhagavan. So you can go to Indra Loka, Vishnu will be the Bhagavan. You can go to Brahma Loka, he is the Bhagavan. So whichever Loka you go, he is still residing there as the main Bhagavan there. So in Papam also is there, in Punyam also is there. That's why, when when Kamsa gets, killed. See, Kamsan was such a very, Asura. And even though Kamsan was afraid of Krishna all the time, what he did was, indirectly, whether it's right or wrong, he was always constantly thinking of Krishna. There's never a time when he was not afraid of Krishna. If some leaf moves, oh, Krishna will be coming there. If some wind blows, oh, Krishna is coming in some form. If some sound comes, Krishna is coming with this. So he was not able to sleep, he was not able to live, he was not able to eat properly because he's afraid Krishna will come, somebody will come and poison him, or Krishna will come in some form. Such is the fear of Krishna that he was constantly thinking of Krishna, even he was an evil person. So, even for such an evil person also, the Bhagavan gave mukti. When he was killed, Krishna told him that, don't worry, you're not getting killed by anybody. He says, who are you? Then he reveals his Vishwarupa Darshanam to Kamsa also. So he gets mukti. So what it says is here, even if you're the worst person also, even in that dirty habit that which you do also, Bhagavan is present there. As buddhi, as intellect. So in good intellect and bad intellect, the Bhagavan is present. That's what it says here. Sarva loka ekanatham. Sarva lokaihi ekanatham. So there is no other Bhagavan here. Shantakaram bhujaga shayanam padmanabam suresham vishwadharam gagana sadrisham megavarnam shubhangam Lakshmikantam kamalanayanam yogi hridhyana gamyam Vande Vishnum bhava bhayaharam sarva lokaikanatham. Next. Meghashyamam pita kausheya vasam. Meghashyamam pita kausheya vasam. Srivatsangam kaustubodbhasitangam. Srivatsangam kaustubodbhasitangam. Punyopetam pundarikayataksham. Punyopetam pundarikayataksham. Vishnum vande sarvalokaikanatham. So, another meaning. So, Meghashyama. So, Neela Meghashyama. So, Meghashyama, Neela Meghashyama. So Megha here is a dark blue cloud. Meghashyama. So Megham means the cloud and Shyama represents the blue, dark blue cloud. So whenever you visualize the cloud, you see the Bhagavan there. So cloud also is worshipped as Bhagavan. So Meghashyamam. Then Pita. Pita means yellow. And Kausheya Vasam, the one who is dressed in yellow. Yellow dress. See, Bhagavan is actually Nirguna. He doesn't have any particular dress. He doesn't even have any color. He doesn't have a taste. But here, we are seeing the Saguna Brahma Upasanam. Or Saguna Brahma Upasana means the Upasanam or the meditation of the Bhagavan with attributes. So first step is Saguna Brahma Upasana. So Pita Kausheya Vasam means the one who is dressed in yellow. Then what else is it? Srivatsangam, Srivatsa Angaha. So Srihi means the female power, Sri. So Srivatsa Angam. So the Sri Vasati, or the one is residing in every part of the body, is Lakshmi. So in Bhagavan Vishnu's, the power is residing in everywhere. Right? So we also got power in every part of our body. Right? We have the power to see, power to hear, touch, feel, walk, taste, everything got power. So the same way, the power actually is spread everywhere in the part of the body. So is there anywhere not power is not there? Power is there everywhere. If there's no power, you cannot do anything. So power is there, but not available for perception. Correct? But you know power is there. Why? Because you are able to see power is there. So the power is not there, you cannot see. But here it says Srivat Sangam, means the Sri represents the female power and the one who is present in the entire body of Mahavishnu. So Mahalakshmi is present in every part of the physical body here. So Srivat Sangam. Then Kaustubaha Bhasitangam. So Kaustubham is the necklace which Bhagavan Vishnu is wearing, Kaustubhamani. So the Kaustubham is the necklace which is there, and Bhasitam means the one which is wearing, and is Angaha. So the one who is wearing the necklace named called Kaustubham. Like the mala which is called Vaijayanti Mala. Vaijayanti is the name of the mala. So Vaijayanti. Same way Kaustubham. So all of them, they got specific names. So Kaustubham, Kaustubham Mani. Then Punyopetam. See, Punya means what? Punyam. By worshipping this Bhagavan, you will only get Punyam, you will not get Papam. Because you are worshipping that Supreme Bhagavan, and there cannot be anything greater than this. So you can never incur Papam when you are worshipping. Correct? So the one who is giver of Punyam is Punyopetam. Then Pundari Kaya Aksham, Kayata Aksham. So Pundari Kayata Aksham means, Pundarikam means the eyes. Pundarikam, the lotus, Pundarikam. Aksham is like the eyes of which are lotus form. So Pundari Kayat Aksham. So Aksham represents the eyes. But here, Akshaihi means all the limbs. All of them are very beautiful like the lotus. You should take like this. So every part of the body, every part of Bhagavan's limbs are there, is to be worshipped. So Pundari Kayataksham. Then, so unto that Bhagavan, Vishnu Mande. So my Vandanam to that Vishnu, who is the nature of Sarva Loka Ekanatham. So unto that Bhagavan, unto that Vishnu, my salutations to this person, Lord of the Lokas. Is that clear? Okay, good. Then number 26. Namas samasta bhutanam adi bhutaya bhuprite. Namas samasta bhutanam adi bhutaya bhuprite. Aneka rupa rupaya. Aneka rupa rupaya Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. Namas samasta bhutanam adi bhutaya bhuprite. Aneka rupa rupaya Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. So, Namas samasta bhutana. So, Namaha, unto that Bhagavan by Namaha, who is present at what? Samasta bhutana. So, samasta means the one who is present in everything, all, and present where? All bhutana, samasta bhutana. So the one who is present in all the living and non-living beings in totality, unto the Bhagavan Namaha. So Namaha samasta bhutana. Then Adi Bhutaya. So Adi Bhuta means what? The one who is present as the foremost. Adi means the beginning. The one who is present in the beginning. Adi. See, in reality, when we talk about Adi Mille Andam Mille Shulva. So we take, there's no Adi, there's no Antam also. But here, Adi represents the Bhagavan being the foremost in everything. If at all there was a creation, then the Bhagavan is at the first of the creation. So there cannot be anything before him. So he's called the oldest person. So Adi Bhutaya Bhubhrithe. So Bhuhu means what? Earth. And Brithe means the sustainer of the earth. So Bhu Brithe. So the word has to be broken into Namaha Samasta Bhutanam Adi Bhutaya Bhu Brithe. So the one who is the foremost in all the creation is the protector of the universe also, and he is present in every living and non-living beings. Unto the Bhagavan Namaha. My salutations. Namas samasta bhutanam adi bhutaya bhubhrithe. Then Aneka Rupa Rupaya. So he is a person who is what? Aneka Rupa. So not one form. He is present in every form which you see here. You see the table is Bhagavan. You see the pencil Bhagavan. Tree is Bhagavan. Any object you take is Bhagavan. So Aneka Rupam. So all the 840,000 species in this universe is seen as Bhagavan only. So Aneka Rupa Rupaya, they come in different form, different taste, different flavors. Everything is Aneka Rupa Rupaya. See, if you have ice cream also, what do you say? Ice cream is a common thing, correct? Then you say what? Kuchi ice cream, you have rainbow ice cream, you have chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream. If you just say vanilla, does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. You have to add the word ice cream. So ice cream is Shashvatam, correct? The word ice cream does not change. But what does change? The flavor changes. So what is it? Aneka Rupam, Aneka Rupa ice cream. So Aneka Rupa Rupaya. So it means all different forms, whatever name you call. See, one person may call, one person will have different names. Somebody will say, my name is so and so. In your home, you will be called different name. It doesn't matter, right? But the person is on Nami is only one, correct? The person to whom the message goes is only one, right? But you will have 5 different names, but all the 5 names only represent you. Right? So when somebody calls by that name, you turn back. Because there are so Aneka Rupa Rupaya. So the Bhagavan has got so many names. You call him Vasudeva, you call him Krishna, Murari, Mukunda, Madhava, it doesn't matter. Rishikesha, all of them represents only one Bhagavan. So Aneka Rupa Rupaya and Vishnave. So Vishnave means the one who is omnipotent is called Vishnave. The one who is present everywhere, omnipresent, omniscient, is called Vishnave. And Prabha Vishnave, the one who is of the nature of most omniscient. If at all there is something omniscient, then you add Prabha Vishnave, the one who is radiance, the one who is the most effulgent, omniscient person in this universe, who is the protector of the universe, and to that my Namaha. My salutations. So that is how when you chant the mantra, that is how one has to contemplate. So the meaning has to come. Oh, this is what it means. Namas samasta bhutanam adi bhutaya bhuprite aneka rupa rupaya vishnave prabha vishnave. So omnipresent and omnipotent. Omniscient, 3 words. Omnipotent, omniscient. So what is omnipotent? All powerful. Omniscient, all knowing. Sarvagyaha. Omnipotent, Sarvashaktiman. Then omnipresent, all pervading. Sarvagatham. Or Vedantic words. Sarvagatam, Sarvagyam, Sarvashaktiman. So the word Vishnave, Prabha Vishnave has got three meanings. Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Okay. Then Sashanka Chakram Sakarita Kundalam. Sashanka Chakram Sakarita Kundalam. Sapita Vastram Sarasi Ruheshanam. So, Sa Shanka Chakraha. Saha Shanka Chakraha means Saha means along. Along with what? Shankam and Chakram. So, the Bhagavan Vishnu is what? Saha. Along with Shankam and Chakram. Then Saha Kirita Kundalam. So Sakarita Kundalam means what? Saha means along with what? Kiritam and Kundalam. So Kiritam and Kundalam. So when you chant a mantra, we say Shanga Chakram, Sakarita Kundalam, we just chant like this. But it means what? Saha, along with this Bhagavan. So along with all these things you worship, Namasamasta Bhutanam Adi Bhutaya Bhuprate, Aneka Rupaya Vishnave Prabha Vishnave, Saha Shanka Chakram. So along with this, he is the Bhagavan who is having Shankam and Chakram. Then Saha Kirita Kundalam. Then Saha Pita Vastram, the one who is actually has yellow dress, Pita Vastram. Then Saha Rusi Rekshanam. So here, Rekshanam means here the eyes. So Sarasi Ruhekshanam means the one who has got lotus eyed, or the one whose lids are like lotus. So now the previous one, he talked about the eyes being lotus. Now he talks about the eyelids being lotus. So the eye is lotus, eyelids are also lotus. See, lotus is supposed to be beautiful. See, nobody will ever say lotus is ugly, because anybody who sees lotus will like the flower. Nobody wants to say that I don't want the flower. Because such is the nature of the attraction of the lotus flower. It definitely grows in a dirty pond. It's a different thing. Then, Sahara Vaksham. So Sahara Vaksham means what? Chest. Sahara Vaksham, broad chested. Sahara Vaksham. Stala Shobhi Kaustubham. So Sahara Vaksham, Stala Shobhi Kaustubham. So Stalam means what? The location. Stalam, location, and Shobhitaha means the one who is adorning the world, the one who is decorating the world, called Shobhanam. So Shobha, when I say, means the beauty, Shobha. Shobhanam. So here, Shobhi means, Shobhitam means the word, the Bhagavan who is adorning the world in this manner. Then, how is he? Kaustubham. So Kaustubham means the gem. So he is shining in this world like the gem, Kaustubha Mani. So just as the Kaustubha Mani which gives radiance, which gives brilliance, this Bhagavan is also the nature of, he is standing in this world, or is being visualized as Shanka Chakram, Saha Krita Kundalam, then the Sahara Vastram, Sahara Vaksham, Stala Shobhi Kaustubham. Right? So unto that Bhagavan Namami. So Namami means what? My surrender. Namami. Vishnum. So unto the Vishnu. How? Shirasa Chaturbhujam. So the one who is standing tall, Shirasa, and Chaturbhujam, the one is four-handed, Chaturbhujam. So all these things which are described here, they describe the visualization of the Bhagavan. So the first step is for us to, without the photograph, you should be able to read the verse and you should be able to visualize. See how easy it is. Previously, when you didn't know the Sahasranama meaning, supposing, right? you will be chanting this mechanically and you will need a murti there. Now when you understand the meaning of that, repeatedly studying this again and again, going through what you learned now, there will come a time when you don't need this image also there. You do not need anything more. Then the image which is seen now comes into your mind now. It gets registered. First step. First step is from Bahya Bhakti to Antara Bhakti. So Bahya Bhakti is important, number one, because people who cannot do Antara Bhakti, they do Bahya Bhakti. But from Bahya Bhakti, when you know the meaning of what Bhakti is, it becomes Antara Bhakti. Then from Antara Bhakti, it becomes Ananya Bhakti. So Ananya Bhakti is where the Bhakti is not different from you. So you resolve that, oh, this Bhagavan which is visualized is none other than me. I am the one who is the seer of this Bhagavan. There is no other seer other than me. Because if I am not here, this image also will not be there. So the Bhagavan's image also is after me. So I am the seer, I am the drishta. And drishyam is the one which is seen. Correct? So that is how you resolve from Ekarupa Dhyanam to Anekarupa Dhyanam, then Anekarupa Dhyanam to Arupa Dhyanam. So step padi-padi da varanum. You have to go step by step. You just cannot jump. Like if you want to climb a ladder, you cannot take 5 steps. See, you cannot take 5 steps, correct? You will fall. If you take 5 steps, you will fall. So you'll have to go step by step only, one by one you have to go. That's why he says here. So Sashanka Chakram Sakrita Kundalam Sapita Vastram Sarasir Hekshanam Sahara Vakshas Talashobi Kaustubham Namami Vishnum Shirasa Chaturbhujam. Okay, then what? Then we go to mantra number 28. Chayayam parijhatasya hema simhasanopari chayayam parijhatasya hema simhasanopari Asinamambudachyama mayatakshamalankritam. Asinam. Okay, so Chayayam. So we'll try and see what we can complete now. And if we can't, we'll do next class. So Chayayam. So, and how we see Chaya means shade. Okay. So under the shade of what? Parijatasya. So this is a Parijatam tree. So under the shade of the tree, how we see Hema Simhasanam. So Simhasanam means the throne and Hema means gold. So the one who is sitting on a golden throne, which is placed under the Parijata tree. So Chayayam means the shade and Parijatam means the tree. So it is all a symbolization of the Bhagavan. So he is sitting in the gold throne, sitting under the tree of the Parijatam tree. So Hema Simhasano Upari. Upari means what? Sitting on top. Correct? Upari. So Hema Simhasano Pari. So the chant mantra you say Hema Simhasano Pari. But it's actually Hema Simhasana Upari. On the throne. Okay. And how is he? Asinam. So he's Asinam. So he's actually sitting there. Right? How is he? Ambudashyama. So Ambudam means a cloud. Ambudam means a cloud. And Shyama means dark cloud. Dark cloud. Then Ayadaksha means, Aksham means ice and Ayadaksha means long ice. See, if you see the dancers, right, they will see, their eyes are long, even though their eyes can be short, but the way they decorate, like in Kathakali also, you see, right, how they do, they decorate the eyes long, right? So when you see the dance and see them, you will see their eyes are very long and very elongated because that's the way they extend. But Bhagavan doesn't need anything like extra thing like this, because the expression of the eyes is important. Like in dance, expression of eyes is not there means you cannot enjoy it. It's all about expression. Right? So here also the Bhagavan's eyes has to be attractive. So Ayadakshaha. So Ayadaksham. Amalam. So Ayadaksham Amalam. So Malam means dirt. Correct. So Anava Malam, Maya Malam. Anava Malam means Ahankara. And same, so Amalam means that which is without dirt, pure. So Amalam. Then Alankritam. So when you say Alankritam, it means he is the one who is decorated. Alankritam. So the one who is adorned with beautiful ornaments. Alankaranam, the one who is adorned with beautiful ornaments. The one who has got beautiful long eyes. The one who is of the nature of Ambudasyama. So Ambudasyama means the cloud color of the cloud. And what is he doing? He is visualized as Asinam, sitting. Sitting under what? On Hema Simhasana Upari. So he's sitting on the gold throne, on the gold throne. And where sitting? He's sitting on Chayayam Parijatasya Asya. So he's sitting under the shade of the Parijata tree on top of a golden throne. And the Bhagavan, who is of the nature of dark clouds, beautiful long eyes, and the one who is adorned in golden ornaments or adorned in ornaments. So this is the visualization of the Bhagavan here. So all these are all, expression of to bring the bhakti into this. So what the text does is, it tries to give you a picture. So when you chant the mantra, what you know is, oh, this is Hema Simhasana Upari. So it's a golden throne. So when you think about that particular word, your focus does not go on to the main thing there. Your now focus is retained on the meaning of the word. Correct? That's the first step we want. What do we want? We want the meaning of the word to be residing within us, so that our mind does not go elsewhere. If you don't know the meaning of the word, then your attention can go everywhere, because for you it is a karma. Your mouth is chanting. You are hearing things. Eyes are going everywhere. So focus is not possible. Whereas when you know the mantra, your eyes are closed. And now mentally you're chanting the mantra mentally. See, people who cannot chant mentally, they can chant orally also. Doesn't matter. See, there are some who will never be able to overcome the problem of chanting orally, because mentally, because they just cannot do. So when they chant mentally, they just cannot do. They tell me, I just cannot do it. So for them, they have to open their eyes, they have to chant. So first of all, chanting verbal is important. Then chanting should become manasam. So one should be able to sit in one place, close your eyes and chant without making a noise. Everything mentally. Then dhyanam becomes focused. Right? That's what it says here. So all these things are given here for us to do Saguna Brahma Upasanam. So Radhika ji, you didn't get Va. I saw just the message now. So Va means the essence in all the living and non-living beings. The word Va denotes all the essence in the living and non-living beings. So is it clear, this particular verse? Any questions from anyone or anything you want to know? Okay.
What about Nama?
Huh?
Om
See,
Nama.
Namaha.
Namaha.
So the word Namaha represents the salutation unto you.
Okay.
So Nama means the Nama or the way of expressing Namam. So Om Nama Namaha Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Correct. Any other question from anyone? Shehadriji?
Swamiji, namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Jayama.
Cholunga.
Jayama.
You are able to follow Jayama? All okay?
Follow. போன வாரம் பேச முடியல அதனால தான் இந்த வாரம் பேசுறேங்க.
இல்ல பரவாயில்லம்மா. உங்களுக்கு வந்து தமிழ் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் தான் நாளைக்கு மண்டே கூட கிளாஸ் இருக்கு. உங்களுக்கு ஒண்ணு அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். மண்டே டைம் இருந்தா பாருங்க.
இதே டைமா?
இல்ல இது வந்து நாளைக்கு 5 மணிக்கு டைம் இருக்கும். 5ல இருந்து 6 மணி. உங்க டைம் வந்து 12:30 மணி இருக்கும் மத்தியானம். உங்க டைம். மத்தியானம் ஓகே. வரேங்க. அது வந்து நீங்க பாருங்க அது தமிழ் டெக்ஸ்ட் அது. உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் புரிஞ்சதுன்னா நீங்க தமிழ்ல ஃபாலோ பண்ணலாம்.
சரி. நான் இவ்வளவு நாள் யுஎஸ்ல இருந்தேங்க. இப்பதான் வந்து குவாரண்டைன்ல இருக்கறேங்க. முடிஞ்சது குவாரண்டைன்.
ஓகே. சரி வாங்க உங்களுக்கு முடிஞ்ச டெக்ஸ்ட் அனுப்புறேன். நீங்க பாருங்க.
ஓகேங்க. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.
சங்கர்ஜி.
எஸ் சார்.
நீ எங்கனே டெக்ஸ்ட் அனுப்புங்க. நான் பார்க்கட்டும் அது என்னன்னு.
உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் படிக்க முடியுமா உங்களால?
தமிழ் படிக்கலாம்.
நீங்க லாஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து தமிழ் ஞாபகம் இருக்கா?
அது அவன் ரொம்ப இது பண்ணா. அது வந்து ரொம்ப லிட்ரேச்சர் ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி. ஸ்லோவா போனான். அது ரொம்ப ஃபாஸ்டா பிகாஸ் சுமதிக்கு ரொம்ப தெரியும். she was going very fast. She was not allowing me to ask questions.
Okay.
That's what happened that time. அதான் நான் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டேன். முடியாது இந்த குரூப் போல சரி பண்ணாதுன்னு ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
Okay. இல்ல உங்களுக்கு நாளைக்கு வந்து your time will be 7 o'clock your time.
Yeah. I'll go through the test. If I interesting, I'll join.
You can join the group. You can join the class and see how you feel like.
Yeah.
I think you are able to follow. See, it will be a Tamil text. அதுல வந்து தமிழ் கொஞ்சம் படங்கள் இருக்கும் கொஞ்சம் அப்போ. But see how we go with that. I'll try to make it a little bit easier by giving them something in Vyakyanam English also. Where possible. But predominantly it will be a Tamil text. It will be a Tamil unfolding only, majority of that.
Okay.
Try to make it not very complex because Tamil it can become very complex also sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll try to see how we can do it. Okay.
Let me enter one class and see how it is.
உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது क्वेश्चन இருக்கா? சொல்லுங்க.
நமஸ்காரம் கீதா.
சொல்லுங்க. You came late today. இன்னைக்கு என்ன மறந்து போயிட்டீங்களா?
இல்ல அவனுக்கு டெஸ்ட் இருந்தது. So we just got timing இது ஆயிடுச்சு எங்களுக்கு. Sorry about that.
பரவாயில்லை. நீங்க ரெக்கார்டிங் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. I think you missed only one class now. It's okay.
எனக்கு ஒரு ஹெல்ப் வேணுமே. இந்த தியானம் வந்து அந்த ஃபுல்லா ஒரு தடவை படிச்சு காட்ட முடியுமா?
தியானமா? சரி படிச்சு காட்டுறேன். டெஃபினட்டா.
ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி
நாளைக்கு நீ கிளாஸ் வரல. நாளைக்கு வரல நீங்க நாளைக்கு
12:30 இல்ல சார் இது?
ஆமா 12:30. இல்லையா நாளைக்கு வரல இல்லையா? ஆமா சார். Tomorrow you're coming for the Tamil class, right? நாளைக்கு?
Yes, I'm joining 12:30.
அப்போ கிளாஸ் முடிஞ்ச உடனே just stay for maybe a couple of minutes more. I will recite the mantra for you. Is it okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Shishadri சொல்லுங்க என்ன விஷயம் சொல்லுங்க. You have to unmute the phone.
Yeah. The 7th day and 10th day, same meaning. Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
No, first day is unto you. Day is unto you. And Vasudhe means the
protector of the universe. That I have written. Only the 7th day is unto you.
See, Bhagavate means unto you.
Okay.
So unto this Bhagavan, who is of the nature of the protector.
And 8th Va is. 8th letter Va is all the essence in external things.
Correct. Va is the essence in all the living and non-living beings.
And 6th Va is represents the essence. Same.
See the last Va, Vasu, represents the one who is present in having all the qualities which is described before. It's called Vasu. Yeah. So Vasu means the one who has got all the qualities listed before. So he is a Devaha. So such a person is called Deva, who is of the nature of, who is residing or in all the qualities which has got this. As what? Om Nama Vasudevaya. So all of them. Correct. So Vasati, as I told you, right? Vasati means the one who, where it lives. Correct. So Vasam,
Yes,
say, Vasam means what? Means the place where you live. Right? Srinivasan. So Vasan means the one who is residing in Srini. Right. So Srini is present in Vasam also, correct? And also present in Srini also. So the Bhagavan is present in the power as well as himself also. Correct. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So are there any more questions? Radhika ji, you are okay? You got the meaning what you wanted?
Yes, yes, got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So we will conclude the class here. And for those people who are coming to the Bhagavad Gita class at 7:45, you are more than welcome to join. And I will see you around that time. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. Shubhratri to all of you.